Bam! There we go. This is the OHIO podcast website, as you can see. So, by the way, guys, there is the store link right there that Chris has got. There's the merch link. And if you want to become a member, you just hit subscribe and it takes you to our YouTube membership page. So, it's all right there on the website, theohiopodcast.com. All right, so we got a story up right now about Trey McNutt. If you scroll to the right, there's our Washington Huskies preview. There's a baseball story about our new coach, and then look at this little story. Braxton Miller's son enters the 6th grade with a Division One scholarship offer. Y'all want to know who broke that story? That's
I
your
know,
boy.
I know.
That's your boy. I broke that story. I actually saw this thing first, and and reported on it, and boy, the hate that I got, man. But anyways, there it is.
Wait, you got
Land.
hate for reporting that a
Yes, I did
kid?
not. There is nothing in this story that is controversial at all, although it might get a little controversial tonight. But Landon Miller, blessed to receive an offer from FAU football,
Tom Herman, what a surprise.
class of 2031. Guys, this is no joke. This is for real. Um, there's a nice little TikTok of Braxton coaching his son in 5th grade. So go check that out. Of course, there's another great article right there you click on about Oregon's recruiting with Ohio State. But I wanted to share this with all of you tonight and show that to you all. So maybe some of you will go over to the website and check that out and reading it. Uh, theohiopodcast.com. We try to get something up every single day. Chris and myself, we've got all kinds of good content now. Immediately when Braxton Miller's son gets the scholarship offer in 6th grade, it's not real. Let's be honest. Is it a real scholarship offer? I don't think so.
I mean, Tom
Because
Herman's not going to be there in 2020,
bingo.
2021.
And I think this is just not necessarily a publicity stunt as much as it is, hey, it's more of a motion to Braxton Miller. We know who you are.
Yes.
There is no 6th grader in God's green earth that you can look at and say, that guy is going to be worth a Division One scholarship. There are some kids who have been blessed to be more physically stronger, have matured faster, can do things athletically that their counterparts in 6th grade can't do. LeBron James in 6th grade was probably awesome in 6th grade too, right?
Sure.
But you have no idea what is going to transgress in the next 7 years of that kid's life. No clue. And to say, like, okay, and we're going to get there, Christopher. We're going to get there. There's a big difference between what Braxton Miller's son has received and what Baby Gronk is doing, okay? Big difference. Here's, and trust me, I'm going to leave this up because I'm going to get to this point. Yes, Mello, boys don't even hit puberty until at least 14. Exactly. Some kids might hit it a little bit early,
Yeah.
but you still have, that might be why he's so good. Here's the thing. I think that this is what Tom Herman did there. If anything,
He's laying
Tom
groundwork
Herman
to Dad.
Tom Herman is doing Braxton and his son a disservice by putting the attention on this child already. This is ridiculous. And if anything, Tom Herman needs to be called out for that. What are you doing? That is that kid's going to go to school and you think, like, all of a sudden, next time he plays sports, that those other parents aren't telling their kid, go knock his block off. That kid's got a scholarship. This is your opportunity to show them you're better than, like, it's so unfair. They're just developing. That's all they're doing right now. And to do that, to pull that stunt based off the fact it's Braxton's son, is ridiculous. Do you think Ohio State's going to do that? No. You know why? Because Ohio State's a serious program. You just proved to everybody, Tom Herman, that FAU is not a serious program and you are not a serious coach. You're a joke. Your program's a joke by doing that, because that's a joke. It's not real. Are you going to call him back up if all of a sudden he gets hurt or he decides he doesn't want to play football and say, well, I'm rescinding my scholarship offer now? It's so dumb. It's just dumb. Now, yes, Christopher. Baby Gronk. Here's the difference between him and Baby Gronk. Baby Gronk has not received one scholarship offer from any school.
No, this is Dad pushing it, isn't it?
Yes.
Dad's pushing it.
It's a publicity stunt. That's all it is. That is all it is.
And
it's a publicity stunt. Braxton's son. This is not a
no.
Braxton did not make a publicity stunt here. Okay, his son might be really, really good, right? But I'm sorry, he does not need a scholarship offer in 6th grade. And by the way, do you really think he's going to go to FAU if all of a sudden Ohio State, when he's a sophomore in high school or a junior in high school, decides to give him a scholarship offer? No, he's not. So this is not real. Even though they might say it is a real scholarship offer, it is not real. Yes, Chris, go for it.
So this all started off, this insanity in college football started back in 2017. I don't know if you realize this, Eric. 9-year-old Haven Finney Jr. received a scholarship offer from Nevada. Now, for those of you who don't know, Finney is actually now playing football in California. He is probably going to be a top 100 recruit in 2027. He does already hold offers from programs like Georgia, LSU, and Oregon. But they were scholarships offered last season, when he was at least in high school, when you could see where he was going with his development, or at least starting to see that. Like you said, Eric, you don't know what's going to happen to a kid's body. Are you going to recruit a quarterback who's going to end up being a center when he gets to college? I mean, you don't know if the kid's going to still want to play football. But and you know who's not on that list of scholarship offers, by the way? Nevada. Because just like what you're saying with FAU, it was a publicity stunt. And then let's look at what it does to the kid. Like you touched on it, how the kids are going to be gunning for Braxton's son. We all knew that kid growing up in high school, and maybe I'm dating myself a little by saying high school when they were looked at and recruited. We all knew that kid in high school, the athlete, the super jock, who went out there and had all the press, had everything going for him, whose head got too big, who went out there and started putting himself and his personal agenda ahead of the team, who ended up costing his team wins, alienating everybody, and then starting to think he could get away with things that he couldn't. The kid ends up in trouble. Next thing you know, he's booted off the team. You put pressure, stupid pressure on these kids, and you start entitling them. And I don't want to go down a political discussion here, but let's face it, entitlement is one of the biggest problems in this country. And you are entitling these kids, and you're wanting to tell a middle school kid,
sixth grade, Chris.
Right, you are the greatest thing since buttered bread. And we're going to give you this, and we're going to do this, by the way, in the era of NIL. So now we're going to have a middle school kid wanting a daggone contract for name, image, and likeness.
He's going to want a Lamborghini. The kid ain't even drive yet.
We've already got it stretching into where high schools, certain states have already approved for high school kids to get NIL now. Now you're going to have the middle school kids wanting it. And we got peewee and middle school kids who should be out there developing and playing the game for just simply for the love of the game, enjoying what should be the best years of their lives. And now we're going to bog them down with a responsibility and a burden that they are not prepared to handle. They're not mature enough. They are not. I don't want to say smart enough, but they're not mature enough or emotionally developed enough to handle this. And we got parents and coaches who are out there doing something just unfathomable, and I think really potentially going to cause psychological harm to these kids, if not physical harm, like you talked about, Eric, because they are wanting to promote their own agendas. And they don't give a rat's backside, keeping it family friendly, about what they're doing to these kids. And it's sickening. And when's it going to stop? That's what I want. When's it going to stop? When is common sense going to step in?
Yeah. Dago, beautiful. I wasn't mature enough at 17.
Exactly.
This kid, what is a sixth grader? 12? I think they're 12. He's 12 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I was worried about going into my sixth grade year? Just hoping that a girl would actually dance with me at the school dance that I get to go to for the first time. That's what I was worried about. It's that I had a purple silk shirt that matched my skids. That's what I was worried about in sixth grade with my Doc Martens, man. This is nuts. This is absolutely insane.
Could you imagine the confidence walking into the school dance, though, with a scholarship offer in college in sixth grade? I mean, I would not have been nearly as scared.
That's the problem. The ego that goes with that.
Dude. No one cares in sixth grade.
It makes the other kids resent you. If anything, it's not going to put you up on a pedestal. They are going to resent you. And your ego is going to be blown out of control.
I get torn because I completely agree with everything you guys are saying. And Chris, I think you're spot on with what it does to the kids mentally and, you know, what parents are doing here. Hard for me to, you know, bash Braxton Miller here, and I'm not trying to bash Braxton Miller here. But
Braxton did none of this.
No.
Well,
Braxton's just being a dad who's coaching his son, and I think doing a phenomenal job.
He is trying to get his brand out there, though, with it as well.
What, the Charging One Elite?
Yeah. I mean, he is trying to get that brand out there as well. So,
but he's not like
but he's developing
showing
kids.
up on podcasts with his son.
No. I'm not relating it to Baby Gronk. I'm not saying that Baby Gronk is, you know.
I will, because that guy needs beat up. Sorry,
no,
that guy needs slapped across the face.
I'm just saying,
told
Braxton
that he's
Miller
doing more harm to his child than he is helping him out.
I totally agree. I'm just saying, you know, when I blame Braxton Miller a little bit, I'm not putting him on the same level as, you know, Baby Gronk's dad or something like that. I don't think it's the same level. But I do think that, like, Braxton and the family could have not reported this. I mean, FAU wasn't going to put this out there. This was put out there by, you know, Braxton and the family making an Instagram page and making a Twitter page for their son that is connected. Huh?
His son put it out, not Braxton. Landon put it out.
Landon runs the Instagram and the Twitter for all this stuff?
For his own, he owns his own Twitter. Yeah, that's Landon. Braxton didn't report this. That was Landon.
I mean, but who runs Landon's Twitter?
Well, I mean,
I'm assuming that Landon does.
Assuming Landon is with his dad's supervision, probably.
If I have a problem with Twitter, I go to one of my kids. I don't, you know, I don't know how to do this stuff. The kids do.
I know, but Braxton Miller's all over
my
Twitter.
Stepson's got TikTok, and they laugh at me because I have no idea what it is. And I'm trying to run a podcast on another social media thing. I'm like, I'm just done. I'm like, gosh, I still remember MySpace. Come on, man. I don't need TikTok.
I don't know. Some of the pictures and some of the stuff on here, I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to imagine a 12-year-old
But
is running all this stuff, especially the Instagram. But I'll take you guys' word for it. You know, Landon runs his own stuff. So, but I don't know. Like, eh, I just
but this is what I would
like
say.
I think Braxton obviously is has his own brand and he has a son of a part of it and stuff like that. And so I think that is a piece of this as well. But at the end of the day, like, I don't think Braxton should have let his son, and far from me to tell another man how to parent his kids, whatever. You know, it's his choice, but I don't know if him letting his son put this information out there was the best thing in the world, because I do think I mean, it blew up a little bit more. And you said, Eric, you were the first one to hop on it. It's
I
not like
was.
nobody else is going to hop on this. Somebody else is going to put this out there.
Right.
I mean, it's gotten all the way up to 24/7 CBS. I just searched it. Yahoo Sports is reporting on it. Rivals is tweeting about it a ton. So, I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Can I be honest? It's our number. We've never had an article do better in
yeah,
24 hours. It's number one. It was
yeah.
our most viewed article I've ever written. Now, technically, I
That's where
wasn't
the big
first
boys
to
came to get
it.
the information, Eric.
What's that?
That's where the big boys came to get the information.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came to us. Um, who brought up MySpace? That was me. It was the old guy. Um, I agree with you, Jr. To an extent. Um, I think because it's still up, and if Braxton was like, "What are you doing? Take that down." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could have done that, but this is completely different than Baby Gronk's dad.
Right. And I didn't want to make
Completely
it sound like
different.
I was saying it was the same thing.
But at the end of the day, he never posts anything if Tom Herman doesn't offer him, an 11-year-old, as someone pointed out in the chat, a scholarship offer.
Yeah, but would
Just
you, in defense of Braxton, though, you're talking about his brand. Yes, he's promoting a brand that helps children, not just his son, that's
good
helping to
point.
develop children.
Good point.
And that was the other
And
piece of it I was going to put out there that's actually good about this, is how much Braxton Miller's brand that helps kids is getting notoriety now from it.
and let me just say, as far as Tom Herman goes with this whole publicity stunt, the defense I'm going to hear from coaches, I'm sure, would be, well, you know what, we're laying the foundation. You know what, you don't have to offer a scholarship to lay foundation, especially with somebody like Braxton Miller and Tom Herman, who were both associated with Ohio State. There's probably a relationship there.
Mm,
You could simply talk to the kid, talk to Braxton. You don't have to offer a scholarship. These coaches don't have to offer scholarships to kids who aren't in high school yet. You can build the foundation by talking to the parents, talking to the kids. You don't have to offer a scholar. It's insane. It's stupid. It is ridiculous. It is harmful to the kid. And I would say the NCAA needs to step in and do something about it.
yes, I agree.
But the thing is, they can't even manage to deal with the cheaters up north. I mean, come on. How are they going to address an issue that encompasses all of college football? They can't handle one issue.
Wow, that is a really good question, Bobby Mack. Can a coach even legally talk to a kid in 6th grade, or do they
I
need to
think they
go
have to.
through
I
their
would think they'd have
parents?
to go through the parents.
I mean, you could probably talk to the kid with the parents there.
But
That's a good point too. This is free press on Herman's part. However, it's not good.
yeah, but bad press is still press.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't.
Come
I've
on.
always thought that even that statement that statement's not.
But when all the losers up north get on there and type in comments on our face or on our YouTube there, Eric, that's
Okay, good point, Christopher. Lachlan offered Turbo Rogers in the 8th grade. However, as much as I still think that that's icky, and I don't like it, that one at least he's got 2 years in middle school to show you that he's good. I still think it's icky, and I wouldn't do it, but no one bats an eye at that. 6th grade is just insane to me.
They're going to be out running around the Pop Warner fields next, Eric.
It's this to me feels a lot like gymnastics.
Yeah,
If any of you know anything about the gymnastics culture, it
where
is
you
all
retire
about,
at 14.
yeah, like these young girls who are emotionally unstable are being pushed to the limit physically and emotionally all the time. And it's just a weird um uncomfortable culture to be around. And this feels a lot like that right now. I don't like it. Interesting discussion. Thank you so much for everybody in the chat who's participated in this discussion. I think that this story's got some legs. The baby Gronk thing, everybody's pretty much agrees with us that that is just ridiculous. That guy is wrong and he shouldn't have done that. Like that kid's story, you all thought Tater Tot story was crazy, and you all know we're talking about Tate Martell. We call him Tater Tot here on the OHIO podcast. That guy, if you go back and watch QB1 when he was a part of that, when he was played for Gorman Rupp um, in Nevada,
Yep.
and they followed him around his senior year with a camera, and he shows up on canvas shows up on campus, and pretty much was put on a canvas by the defensive players. By the way, he was always out of place and just didn't fit in because he had this sense of who he was that he portrayed that you saw plain as day on that show.
Mhm.
And that young man, from the word go, when he left mom and dad's nest, was set up for failure, man. And I really kind of feel bad for the guy.
I do too. And
I
if he has as
really
much
do.
talent as he did ego, he probably would have been a starting quarterback somewhere for more than a week.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where my heart breaks. I hope Braxton and his wife and family know how to put this kid in a good place mentally to protect him. And although I get it, JR, this does help promote his business, especially if he goes on and gets a Ohio State Division One contract. Like, think of all the kids that he could develop, you know. And I don't know if that school is still an option that he had talked about in Urbana. Remember when they were
Hmm.
going to do a private
Kind of like what LeBron did in Akron.
Akron? Well, it was going to be more of like a IMG Academy, but here in
Yeah,
Ohio. I still would love to see that myself. I think that would be fantastic. But um, anyways, this has been a really great discussion. Anything else, guys, before we call it quits?